Far Cry 6 has even more content than I first anticipated. We already went over the enormous map in my previous video, but now Ubisoft revealed the post-launch plans for the game, and if you like me played a ton of Far Cry 5 after launch with the live events and the DLC, then it will be interesting to know what you will be playing months from now after the release. And this includes free crossover missions with, for example, Stranger Things, weekly targets, and of course the season pass content. So, wanna tell you everything that was announced in this video, and I also want to touch on a brand new management minigame that you can spend time with in the game. Of course, if you enjoy the Far Cry content here on the channel, then don't leave a like on the video, costs only 1 second of your time, and it would really help me out. And let's go. Yes, I am doing a Far Cry 6 Ultimate Edition giveaway, which you can enter via the link in the pinned comments. Be sure you are a subscriber of the channel if you want to participate, and I will reach out to the winner just before launch. Joyce already went over a ton of things you can do in the massive open world, like races, of course outposts, there are random encounters, treasure hunts. But one thing we did not touch on yet is this small minigame called Los Bandidos, which I should deploy characters to do small background operations that reward you with special gear and also resources. So saving hostages in the world actually adds new recruits to the system, making it more worth it to get out of your vehicle to help them. Leaders will be added through operations and Yaron stories, so side missions, and also come with special perks like Benito here has a 50% extra success chance for constructions, and I think the metal requirement is for like doing special missions. After dispatching the characters, you have to wait, I think, real world time, so it will just go on in the background, and the first mission was only 1 minute, and after that I could select a few ways my leader would go about the mission, which resulted in different rewards. And after like completing the operation, I got a special version of the 6P13 auto pistol. After this first operation, more opened up with different rewards, so I just selected one of them, went about my day, and like after 1 hour I could check and complete it again. It's just a small extra micromanage minigame in Far Cry 6. More interesting and exciting in my opinion are these special operations. We actually already saw them in the game overview trailer, and I was already surprised when I saw them there, because they very much seem like the expeditions that we saw in Far Cry New Dawn, where it took a helicopter to go to smaller but very diverse looking areas. Well, guess that we can do that in Far Cry 6 too, and it seems like these will contain some of the toughest enemies, and there's a twist as well. We namely have to take a bomb with a timer to an extraction point and use water and other sources to make sure that it doesn't overheat. And it seems that if you play these missions solo, they can still shoot after getting the bomb, while in co-op, one person has to carry the bomb while the other person has to protect that player. But that's my read on the footage that we got here. So we got 2 of these operations at launch. One seemed to be in a Jurassic Park style location, likely without real dinosaurs, but hey, that totally speaks to me, of course. And one takes place in a ruin, an abandoned village from the looks of it. And we will then get 4 extra maps post-launch: Coco Drillo, Los Tres Santos, Porta del Eden, I hope I pronounced that right, and Malagua. And what is interesting is that if you translate this, it says Eden's Gate, which could revert to Far Cry 5, because it was of course Project at Eden's Gate that killed. So are we going back to like a small map in the Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn area? Just my speculation, but it would be cool. And now let's look at all the other stuff that we know is coming in the months after launch. Let's start with the 3 crossover missions that again will be free. The first one is with Danny Trejo. Our main character is of course also called Danny, so there you got Danny and Danny versus everybody. And it seems like the mission will start with a sort of hold your position objective, and then we have to fight incoming enemies, and after that it seems like we have to chase down some targets. The second crossover mission is with a Rambo superfan against the Yaron military, and I love how they call this All the Blood. Not much more is known about this one, and then last but not least is the Stranger Things crossover in a new Upside Down inspired area, so likely a new region we get teleported to. Our dog Chorizo is missing, and I don't know about you, but it kind of sounds like he might change into a demo Gorgon, or at least that these creatures have something to do with this free mission, but it's not confirmed or anything. Hard to say how long these missions will be, maybe like 20-30 minutes, so seem to be just fun extras with some famous characters. And then next to that, also free, are the weekly insurgencies that start on day 1, but you need to have finished the main campaign of the game first before you can do them. And they are like the closest to the live events that we got in Far Cry 5. Only instead of having to kill like random enemies in the world in a specific way, in Far Cry 6 we have to take out special targets instead for some new gear updates, according to Ubisoft. In Far Cry 5 a lot of the new weapons were given away through these live events, but with Far Cry 6 already having way more guns, it makes sense that it's focused more on a new gear instead. But yeah, curious how long the campaign is before you can do these special challenges, but it's totally something new to look forward to each week, which I really like. For the Season Pass, we of course know that you get special Rex items. I think these are available at launch already. And then also Blood Dragon as like a drop later on. We do now know when the 3 Season Pass DLC episodes will hit, with Voss already in November, Pagan Control in January, and Joseph's Collapse in March. And seems that the roadmap lasts until March. Here we got the full roadmap. We see that the crossover missions like launch in between the Season Pass updates. We see the Blood Dragon full game in December. So a lot coming in the next couple of months. And Ubisoft also noted in their press release that there is more to be revealed. And I would imagine that that is like after March. They also revealed more about the roguelike gameplay for each episode, where we of course play as one of the villains from the previous games. So you start out with a pistol and have to then gather resources, which you can then spend on upgrades at your safe house. We see Envy here, which lets you add gadget sockets to the weapon wheel, so you can use and likely carry more gadgets. Or you can also spend the currency to open weapon caches to get new weapons and mods. And at one point we also see the player find a 1-up. So then instead of dying and having to start all over, you are saved and can like continue where you left off. I think overall the roguelike genre is an interesting twist on the Far Cry gameplay, and it's fun of course to see these villains again, but I do worry that this might get old pretty fast. And I totally think that if you did not like one of the DLCs, then you will likely not like the others. There is co-op in this too, which might be nice, but I think it would have been way cooler to have like a new island or a new area to explore with the open world setting instead of the roguelike experience in the Season Pass. But maybe I'm wrong and maybe this turns out to be amazing, but so far I'm like, I wanted to see more actual Far Cry stuff instead of this Season Pass content. But that is me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Still super excited of course for the main game. Like I really can't wait to explore this open world and go on these awesome special operations. More videos are coming your way, so subscribe to miss nothing regarding Far Cry 6. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out that previous video on the massive open world and all the activities by clicking on the screen. For now, I'll speak to you next time. Goodbye.